Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my show, The Tony Onying Show. My name is Tony Onying. Today, we are here to discuss the question of change. We have witnessed change in different angles of our lives. We have witnessed change in organizations. We've witnessed change in technology. We witnessed change in the roles within the same organization that you're working at. Some of us have maybe even experienced change, environment, relationships, career, and what have you. Now, let's try to drive down to the question aspect of the organizational change. I'll just give you some scenario that most of you are probably familiar with. You've been in a situation where you work in an organization where there's these cliques of people who don't talk to each other. You meet a colleague in the lift and the person does not want to talk to you. You find people who rate their roles as above others, looking at the rest as below them, to the extent that even when they're out in the cafeteria for lunch, they definitely have their own crew. Now, a few years or 1 year down the road, the organization is announcing a change. A change could involve merging of roles. It could involve moving one from a high-ranking department into a low-ranking department. And you find in these situations, people do take them totally very differently. The most focal bit of it is about 70 to 80% get filled up with negative energy. Why the negative energy? Why the negative vibe? At the end of it all, you're going to realize one thing. It is right inside you, the attitude towards acceptance of change. Then the other common question is the technology change. Different organizations evolve every other day. Then we have the clients to the organizations. They are not willing to move on because we've been doing this thing with this for the last couple of years. Why are you moving us into something new? Then you realize that the question of adaptation is across. So for starters, when the element of change comes in place, you're supposed to accept it, you're supposed to prepare, you're supposed to adapt it, and in fact fit in it. Moving away from change does not stop you from facing another change in the near future. You definitely have plans in your life. But you see, as long as you work for a company, you are under the obligation to prove your worth, which worth will determine what kind of place you get placed in, you get moved to. Most organizations are looking at agile-minded people. They're looking at learners. They're looking at non-static individuals. They're looking at people who are not going to stick to their job descriptions. And when I tell you, hey, I need you to go do ABCD, you're saying, no, but that's not what I signed for. That is the mindset question. It kills you out. It kills that spirit and triggers that negative energy. Now, when we look at most of these organizations driving the change pyramid, you're going to realize that in the next 5, 6, 7, or 10 years, change is going to be so rapid that even the SMEs in the developing countries are definitely going to come to self-realization and note that this is something that we actually need to embrace at the end of it all. A couple of months or years, we once discussed the question of the internet. We're looking at the way people adopt internet, the way people define internet. They adopt things depending on their individual definition of that context. Now, your individuality, first of all, needs to embrace a positivity. it first of all needs to acknowledge that we are not waterfalls, we are not static. Once we look into that, then it's going to be positive for us to move on to the next trade. If you are moving onto a role that you once underestimated, then it's a chance for you to move and make that role a source of your pride. I'll give you a quick story. When I joined the university a couple of years back, family expected me to, go for a legal study, and then I went for a social science course. So when I went there, many people looked at whoever was doing any other art course as, you're not very much important. We are studying law, you are studying, social works, you're studying business, things of that kind. We in the legal bit, we are land friend. Family expected me to move on to that direction, but I said no. Let me first do this, then I'll move on to that direction soon. After all, I am passionate about the other direction. So what happened at the end of it? I moved on, continued with this, but how much criticism did I get? At the end of it all, I said, maybe with this criticism, I should turn out to be the best or the first of my kind to make the dream come true. Indeed, things happened. I joined the technology world with my social science. I joined the banking industry in a very digital role. Then I moved back and asked the guys, so where are you now? The point I'm trying to drive here is the mindset question. If you feel you are being rotated to a point where you don't feel it, accept it, go and change it so that you can love it. That's the most important thing. So take change as positive, take change as an opportunity for you to prove that you actually can do it. Because if you don't do that, then things are going to turn the other way around. Things are going to get twisted. And at the end of the day, you're going to wonder why. You're going to wonder, what should I do? You're going to look at everybody as an enemy. But remember, it is an opportunity. Nobody hates you. The same spirit when you choose to go in to advance in a course. You're advancing in the course not because of anything else. You're advancing because you have discovered that you have a talent somewhere that you want to blend it with a paper. Ladies and gentlemen, let's accept change. It will make us better people. Thanks for watching. Tony Onying. Don't forget to subscribe. The Tony Onying Show.